My sozo, I would say it was transformational. It was really interesting to hear things from God. It can be often difficult to figure out if you're hearing from like your own thoughts or hearing from God and His Word. I think the sozo was like a really gentle way to listen out to God, to what He wanted to say to me, to people I had to forgive without even knowing that I did, to kind of get a sense of like what He wants for my life, and kind of where He sees me going.
Sozo has had a big impact on my life. For me, I was in a place where I had loads of muddled up thoughts, and my heart was in a place where I felt like I was really distant from God.
I benefited from Sozo by actually being able to be more confident in my faith and trusting God more, to be in control. At the same time, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if I hadn't gone through Sozo, because it was something that broke chains that were unseen. And I think sometimes we feel that the battle's all physical, and it's not.
So my Sozo experience was nothing like what I expected it to be. When I went into the room, it was a lot more kind of relaxed, and you just kind of had a chat with God in the presence of other people, and I really felt like I forgave a lot of people for things that I didn't know that I needed to forgive them for. And when I went out of that room, I just felt so at peace and just so much more honed in with what God was saying.
It was super interesting, and it was really gentle, and I just feel like it gave me a lot of tools to also then speak to God continually in my day-to-day. So yeah, I'd say it's a really, really great way to tap into what God wants to say to you and kind of release some things that can be sitting on your chest that can be a little bit heavy.
My favourite part was actually just listening to some of the areas of my life that I didn't even know had an impact in me and the person I am now from my past, and listening to the truths and how my life has changed from hearing the truths and repeating that over and over again.
So I feel that with this, with going to Sozo, it's actually made me move forward and actually given me a boost, I think, to be able to, nothing's holding me down. I felt like, no, let me re-explain it. I went in heavy and I come out light. In 2 words, that's what it was.
I think that everyone should do a Sozo because there are people in your life that you don't think you need to forgive, but actually in the Sozo environment you'll realise that you do. And it was just so great to be able to hear so clearly from God, and to have people come up in my mind that I didn't even think I had any ill feelings towards, and to just leave that behind and to forgive them and to just go forward into kind of a new chapter.
See, I honestly believe that when God created us, man and woman, He made us to be in communion with Him, like how we do with our friends, to walk and talk with Him in the garden and to be with Him. So I found Sozo to be a typical experience like that, for me to just share my heart with God and to tell God my vulnerabilities, my weaknesses, the things that don't make sense, and for God to just come and intervene and tell me, I'm with you in that, and hear the truths that I want you to believe in and to start growing and for you to become the person you want to become.
I would recommend it to every Christian, and I feel it should be mandatory because it lifts you out of what you're in. It's what we're carrying that we actually made the norm now. It's something that we don't see. I wouldn't have never thought this would have done anything to me, but it did. It's the spiritual joy that you get when you walk out the door.
I would say if you're someone who kind of like thinks you're hearing from God but isn't really sure what you're hearing, or just wants to kind of have a conversation with Him about things that have been going on in your past, or what He kind of thinks about you and what He has to say about you, I'd say Sozo is for you. That's kind of everyone, I would probably assume. But yeah, I would say especially if you've kind of been through some stuff that you want to kind of flesh out or let go of, I would say definitely consider having a Sozo. You won't regret it. It's not harsh, it's not too intense, it is gentle. There might be some tears, but they're kind of good tears. So yeah, I would say definitely go ahead and book yourself a Sozo.